Hello and welcome everyone. Today I would like to show you yet another encounter of me coming across scammers. Now this one is particularly different in comparison to the last video I made. So for those of you who are new or who have not seen my previous scammer versus Intelli video, it is actually made by me on my YouTube channel. So go and take a look at that first. So that is the only video I have made so far. Okay then, so today I am going to educate you lovely people on how to identify scammers. Well, there is a diverse subject on how to actually identify them, but today we will particularly focus on a specific thing. Okay, so I come across a lot of people in my life because I sell consoles and I do like business in terms of IT repairs and consoles and stuff. So I have heard more than numerous amount of times that people have been frauded and been scammed by computer shops or mostly over the internet and so on. Okay, so basically what happened was I was contacted by this unusual guy. So this is how the conversation began. So allow me to actually speed you up on how the initial conversation began. Oh yeah, that's him. That's it. Right, I found it. Okay then. So the story is basically I was contacted by this guy, and he contacted me in regards to this. So you can see the conversation on WhatsApp. If you don't know what WhatsApp is, again, you have to actually go and look at my first video, because that will primarily tell you what WhatsApp is and what actually happened. So this guy inquires with me about PlayStation 3, etc, etc. So I give him the details, and then he says, oh, I want to get it from my stepsister in Manchester, blah 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 blah, so and so on. So do you have a PayPal account? What's the price? Blah blah blah. And then fast forward, oh, I have a brother in India now. So his sister's in Manchester, UK, and now he's got a brother in India. I knew it from straight away, the moment he said hello to me, that I knew he was a scammer, and I will tell you how and why did I know this straight away. Okay, so he was asking like prices and information, and then he was saying, what's your cost for iPhone and stuff like that. So he was deviating the subject back and forth. That's what scammers do. Scammers are very clever, evil people. Okay, just sort of like Satan. Basically, he's not just evil, he's quite intelligent. Okay, that's what makes it worse, when you are evil and then you are intelligent. Okay, so that's what scammers are basically. So they one of their tricks is that they will ask you for something. They have an objective to rob you guys. Okay, to do that they need to ensure a lot of steps. Okay, whether that includes confusing you, gaining your trust, and so on. Okay, either it's through emotions, either it's through friendship, trust, or making you laugh, or making you comfortable. You know how you say in Western cultures, breaking the ice. Basically it is exactly that. Okay, so these things are not hard, but you need to take your time to actually think. Especially we live in a dangerous world where I actually came across a saying which is which I am very fond of, is people, they become your friends and then they kill you. Crocodiles are simple, they just kill you. Get the idea? This is exactly the same frame going on here. So this guy inquires about PlayStation and then iPhone and then various other items and so on. So I gave him prices and information and so on. Okay, so blah 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 blah. So where did you see my advert from? You Sandwell. It's basically what's it called? A classified website where you can go and advertise stuff, sort of like Gumtree or Friday ad, basically. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. You saw my advert, great. Okay, So yeah, he's enticing me with a high price because he wants to buy them in bulk. I'm like, okay, yeah, fair enough, that's fine. So again, the moral of the story right now here is he's trying to gain my trust. Okay, he's trying to make me happy. So he's trying to put me under the spotlight. I know how exactly light functions, so this idiot actually doesn't know he's putting me under. Anyway, so yeah, so fast forward, basically the conversation is very lengthy, and yeah, so the conversation goes on and then he says, what's your bank details, how do I pay you and stuff like that. So I said bank, because you're from UK as well. And then afterwards the subject changes, oh, just give me a PayPal name. And then okay, I gave him my PayPal email and so on. And then, you know, he took his time basically. So before I go further, he actually all of this process didn't take like half an hour or same day. No, scammers usually love to take their time, because to gain someone's trust you have to take time. Okay, now human beings work better with time. That's what I've learned. So this went for about, I think, 2 weeks. I haven't really checked fully, but roughly about 2 weeks or something. And then prices and information basically. So as you can see, we're discussing about bank details and stuff. So yeah, and then here's where I catched him. So he was asking me for the iPhone pictures. I sent it to him and stuff like that, basically the products I have. And then, you know, I thought to myself, okay, let me just stop it right there, because I know he's 100% bullshitter, and I kept on playing his little game basically to fool him around. All this time he thought that he's gonna try and get lucky with me, but he was far too wrong. So I thought, let me just, you know, make a noise and just end it right there. Okay, so so this guy was impatient. Now I knew that he's a teenager or a kid because he was impatient. Teenagers or kids are usually impatient than adults. Okay, so that's one of the reasons I knew straight away that it was him. And then I said to him afterwards like this basically. So the conversation was going smooth, and then out of the sudden I decided to just tell him straight away. Okay, so you can actually pause the video and read that yourself basically. So yeah, I do have my moments where I go full on crazy on people. But yeah, okay. So after that, when I said to him that you know, he's a pathetic person who's scamming people and stuff, so I took an image of his WhatsApp. So basically, I've told you this all now. Now I'm going to tell you the main bit basically. Okay. So scammers, they do two things first. They have to take fake pictures and fake information, either description, fake name, fake description, fake name, and obviously a fake image. Okay, so everything about them is totally fake, so they don't get backtracked. Obviously, that's the whole point. So he was using this picture initially. Okay, and obviously God knows who he is. I don't know him, and that's not the person. So he's using a fake image. Okay, so I took that and I sent it to him. So later I was going to make a video, and this is the reason. Okay, now moving forward a little bit to a side, he's actually made different accounts, as you can see. So this is the number I'm showing you at the moment. He's made 1, 2 and 3 more, so that's 4 in total. Now I'm going to tell you the most, I'm going to show you really interesting stuff afterwards. So he's using a picture of like another girl, obviously enticing to be sexy and stuff like that, again to gain your trust, to open the gain the trust of your desires basically. Okay, so they will do a lot of things to gain your trust by means of your desires and stuff. Okay, so you have to be very careful. Scammers are really dangerous, but they are not the most clever people in the world. They actually are stupid. Yeah, so you just have to be patient, you have to be knowledgeable and learnt about these things. That's how you find out about all this. It doesn't come to you in one day. It will come to you either through bad experiences or from other people's happening and situations. Okay, so I've shown you 2 accounts. The third account he was using was this. Later, oh yes, by the way, you know the kid's picture I showed you before? he replaced it with that one afterwards when I identified him as a scammer later on. So obviously if he does that to me, then he does it to a lot of other people as well. Okay, so take a good look. So oh, actually there's another thing I'm gonna tell you guys about after this, if I don't forget. So you can pause the video at any time and just read all this basically. I won't bother going through that. So afterwards, like, you know, I felt really aggressive and like confused on why people do that, uh, you know. But so yeah, and then afterwards I started to like tell him the reasonable stuff, after I cussed the shit out of him basically to get out of my system. So he basically, I don't know if he was being honest there or if he genuinely meant it. So at that time, I was feeling that okay, this guy's being genuine. He's being sorry and stuff and so on. So I'm like, all right, okay, fair enough. People make mistakes, no matter how bad they are, which is fine. So you can just read the conversation basically, and then it goes on and on and on. And then I told him about like good stuff basically, okay, that I know, and I shared it with him. And then it came to a conclusion where I realized. So in the middle of the conversation, I was saying to him that, hey, send me the pictures of you. He goes, oh, I'm poor, please help me, stuff like that. That's why I'm scamming people, which actually is understandable. If you were poor and in poverty, what would you do? You would probably do the same, right? Even though it's bad, right? So it's hard to judge and based on if you're not poor or living in poverty until you actually go through it yourself. So experiences do change people, but I wasn't sure exactly how true it was until later on. Okay, so this guy could be pulling emotional tactics on me, to compromise me in giving him money and or to gain his trust and so on. I mean, I do give charity and stuff, don't get me wrong, but I use my brain. I'm not stupid and blah blah blah. So brain is given to me for a reason. So this guy sends me his legit picture. Now God knows if that actually his legit picture is probably could be taking his friends and giving him another subject or story or so on. So people are very tricky, I'm telling you. Okay, so I promised him I won't send the pictures of his to, like, I won't broadcast it on YouTube and stuff at that time, but the situation changed, so I'm showing this to you so you guys can be saved in the future by not falling for scammers like this. Okay, I've come across a lot of scam stories on the internet where especially elderlies, you know, pensioners in UK, you say pensioners like when people are out of job, they're incapable of working, they're in old age, so they live on whatever they've saved. So we call them pensioners, in case you guys don't know, who live outside the UK. Anyway, so pensioners mostly get scammed because they're in the old age, they don't have huge mental capacity and physical energy like us guys in our young times. So they are the most vulnerable and targeted people. Okay, so I hear a lot, I read a lot of stories about pensioners getting scammed and so on. So one pensioner was trying to get scammed to take the money to like this department. He was acting as a police, the person who was speaking to him, but in fact he was a professional scammer himself who posed as a police. Saying that, oh, your money is counterfeited, you need to bring your money to this location immediately, blah blah blah. So the taxi guy intervened, he understood the situation, and then he told him that, yo, you've been scammed basically. Then he called the real cops, and then that's how everything went involved, and it got down to media. That's how I read about it. Okay, so this is just one of the 1,000 examples people get scammed. So as you can see, he's a black kid. I deleted the pictures, but the actual frame of the pictures in blurry image remains there. So so yeah, okay, you can see that. But again, obviously, I'm not like Miracles who knows everything. So I don't exactly, I'm not sure if that is the legit guy who's showing me his image, or he could be using a fake one, as previously mentioned. So in this photo, he was showing me eating his food off like a plate. But I looked at him, he's got a shirt on, he's got trousers on, you know, I use my common sense, like I said. So I could see that, okay, he's not living in poor condition and neither rich. He was looking normal to me. He was eating. So I'm like, you look like you're in a house. You've got roof, you've got solid wall, you've got shirt on, you've got trousers on. Everything seems fine. You don't actually look poor. So people try to do blatant drama, like I said, to trap you emotionally, okay? So don't fall for emotions, use your brain cells. Seriously, you handing your money and the person is thinking, what an idiot to you, basically, because you try to do the good thing, you do good thing, but you don't be stupid at the same time. Good and stupidity has a thick line in between that. Okay, so he was selling me his bullshit emotional stuff, and I know about all these things anyway, based on my past experiences from a young age and so on. So luckily I've never ever been scammed in my life, thank God. But anyway, so you have to be very careful, and don't trust someone straight away. Take your time, analyze the crap out of them in your mind, research stuff, connect the dots, take as much as time. Never help someone unless you fully trust them, which takes time. Alright, so I'm not the owner of the phone I've got, so I said to him, how are you WhatsApping me? If you are poor, how can you afford the internet to contact me? Or I'm borrowing my phone, borrowing this phone of a friend who's giving it to me. Look, that story doesn't even make sense. So his friend is giving him phone to contact people worldwide to scam. Okay, come on. So where are your parents? Oh, they live in Nigeria. I'm in Ghana. So first, before, like ages above, if you read in the conversation, somewhere it says that he was from Nigeria at the start, and now later on, after a few weeks, he says he's from Ghana. Now see, things, dots, they connect. You have to point them out in your mind. So basically, he's a classic bull. He's a bad liar, to be honest. So anyway, so yeah, I've got no money to go to school. Again, emotional stuff, basically to trap me, and I'm like, no, just because I gave you like religious stuff and good things, that doesn't mean I'm stupid. So yeah, I'm living in Ghana with my friend, as I said, and then so on, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I don't trust you, mate. Go and get a job. You know, people get a job and pay for their things, no matter what you got. So he's got fully functional limbs. He can go and get a job, but he's just trying to be an idiot, basically. So you know what? People are fucking complicated to understand. Honestly, it's a mind ache. So yeah, I swear to God, please, I swear on my mom's life, I swear on my granddad. I've heard that so many times. These solid, shiny liars. Honestly, man, pathetic people. So yeah. Anyway, so there you have it. Okay. So I bombed him with loads of messages and bullshit. So his English is a bit messed up, so I knew what he was saying, but he said it in the wrong context and stuff. For flirt, he was trying to say food or something. So I don't understand this kid. But anyway, so and then afterwards, can you give me a $200 iTunes card? Hang on, you poor. So what do you need iTunes for? And how do you have internet on your? I thought you didn't have phone. You're borrowing your phone off a friend. See, so that's how I catched him out, along with other lines. So this basically, who I was dealing with was a teenager or a kid. So there you have it. Whereas adults are more professional. When you come across scamming adults, they are more careful, they are more observant. So they will do 99% in surety not to make flaws or mistakes. Some scammers take their time to do the homework on how to trap people. Some scammers go with the flow, but they are very careful and so on. So you will come across some people who just speak without thinking, but there are those who actually speak before, who actually think before they speak. So this is the dangerous part, especially in the scammers line. So be very careful. Okay, so guys, this is just one of them, and then afterwards he blocked me, obviously, as you can see. That he, once he had a strong once he understood strongly that I wasn't going to give him no money and stuff, no matter how much he blabbed on or tried his tactics on me. And then afterwards, at the same time, while I was talking to this guy, he contacted me using that girl's picture who I showed you. I think it was this one, I can't remember, but yeah, it was one of them. As you can see, +234. So there are a few things now I'm going to educate you guys with. So I've finished giving you the whole lecture about all this and stuff. So he used like 4 different accounts to scam me. He was using a farmer's picture. So in one of the pictures, before he replaced it, there was an old farmer. So nevertheless of the picture, whatever it is, sexy, gorgeous, whatever, teenager guy, model, blah, 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 blah. They're always going to use fake pictures, like I said. So these are one of the vortexes that they're going to suck you with. So you have to be very careful, okay? Now he's using this guy's picture. So as you can see, his picture is still visible on WhatsApp. This is all fake. So it looks like a, you know, businessman and stuff like that. He could be doing different tactics and different tricks on different people. God knows. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to tell you right now is, how did I know that he was from Nigeria? How did I know all this? Now, scammers are very tricky to narrow down. I'll be honest with you, even police struggle. They eventually catch them, but there are measurements you have to take. This is where intelligence comes in. So there's different scammers do different tricks, basically. So number one, now I'm going to use my brain. I'm new to this. What do I have to look for? There are clues. Okay, so this is WhatsApp, basically. So obviously you have to play around to familiarize yourself with it. Nobody's going to spoon feed you. You have to, you know, do your part to actually learn yourself. Okay, so on WhatsApp you can click, and then all the details come up along with the picture. If the person hasn't blocked you, their pictures are still visible over here. So not to be confused with this picture. Hang on, let me move it away so you guys can understand. So over here he's using this picture. That's his number. So on WhatsApp, numbers always show, obviously, along with the name, if they choose to put that name. This is fake name, obviously. He put Elizabeth, and then he's used a fake name. Which part of that looks Elizabeth to you? Honestly, not even the bloody shop behind looks Elizabeth. So yeah, you get the idea, right? Okay, so go back, basically, and if they block you, right, the image will disappear along with the status line and so on. So that's just the name that's visible, and you can see the pictures below. He sent me those pictures. That's why they are saved as a memo within the WhatsApp. Okay, now one of the ways I found out is the number. Look, so this is where I have to think now. +234. What does the word plus is? That is an extension code. Whether you know it or not, I will say it regardless, because there will be a lot of people watching this. Oh, by the way, before I continue, I should have said this at the start. Thank you so much for the good support you guys have given me in my first video. Due to that factor, this is the reason why I am making this video. So I realized that it has helped a lot of people. I genuinely didn't even realize that I was going to help people that much. I just made it randomly, but reading the comments, it actually enlightened me. So this is the reason I'm making this, okay? And I will continue to keep doing as much good work as I can. Sometimes I think that people, you know, it's not going to be useful to them and so on, but until I read the comments, I was inspired. Okay, so every mobile phones, home phones and stuff, they have what you call country code. So different countries have different codes in them. So before you ring your auntie, grandma, sister, whoever in a different country than you have to dial the country code first. So plus is 00 basically. So without going into technical stuff and blowing your mind apart, so this is a country code. Now how did I know this belongs to Nigeria? This is how. Plus is basically 00. So you can either put plus. Hang on. You can either put plus or you can put 00. So I'm putting that in the Google. You can see the word country code comes up there. Very simple. Okay. So let's look at the first part of his number. So 234 is the first number after plus. 00234. Okay. Or I can just simply put plus 234. Get the idea? So the word plus is always 00. Just remember that in your mind. I'm talking about only the phone numbers. Okay? So in your dial pad, if you hold 0, that comes as plus. Well, on my Samsung phone it does, but I don't know about yours. Well, so that's why. Okay? Now look, I'll type in +234 in the Google search box. What country code is 234? Because obviously people have asked them before. Nigeria. Okay? I knew that anyway, but there you go. This is how you find out. Okay, So that's one of the reasons. Oh, I'm from Nigeria, as you can see my number, but I have gone outside for holiday. My husband is a rich man. He's working in the office. He hasn't got no time to deal with this, or I'm his wife on behalf. I'm dealing with it. I will want to buy the item from you. I'll pay you extra money for extra golden shipping and all the bullshit and shiny and golden words they're gonna feed you with and wrap you around with to scam you. Now, that's how I knew one of the ways that he was from Nigeria, regardless whether he says it or not. Okay, then second, you have to speak to them like on normal terms. Don't swear at them. Don't get cocky with them, because if you do that, then you are no better than them, and they know that you're the victim. You want to keep it that way. You don't want them to find out that you know about this. Okay, so you want to keep the conversation normal. Oh, how much is this and that? Hello, how are you? And just keep it on the normal terms, basically. Make it, stretch it as long as you can. Build up the conversation. Then you ask them questions, whatever you want to ask, one by one. Like, what country are you from? Okay, you don't ask them 10,000 questions of what you want to ask them straight away. This gives off a pattern. You want to take your time. That's what scammers do. Okay, you can use the same tricks on against them to find out where they are, but they're not going to tell you the truth, obviously. But you want to do that to build the pattern so you can understand whether he's legit or a scammer. Anyway, so yeah, I'm a businesswoman. I've got 5 iPhones. I've got a rack of MacBooks and blah blah blah. I want to buy this from you, and I'll give them all the prices and all that bullshit, basically. So see, they're trying to entice me here. So sellers love to sell stuff. They want serious customers and so on. So when would you like to buy? When I'm ready. See, so it's taking his time. He was using a girl's picture before this one, on this one. Okay, so he changed the picture much later on. Okay, so yeah, so he used 4 different accounts to scam me. Now, like I said, scammers use different tactics to scam you, basically. To repeat that, one particular thing I want to show you guys is this. Hang on, let me find it. This, right, guys, this is quite neat trick, and it is quite dangerous. This is one of the smartest things I have actually came across. At the start, it took me a bit of time to find, to self-teach myself this and realize this particularly. But say you receive an email from somebody, okay? Now, this is how this works. If you want to identify scammers, they use different tactics, not just words and so on. There's many different tactics. Okay, so I'll be here all day explaining it, but I'll do the best I can. So as you can see, I've got like different emails. Messages in my email, right? Now, service at intl.paypal.com. Now I'm going to break this down for your understanding, for those people who don't know these technical stuff. Okay, so service, basically, this is representing PayPal. So when you look at that, you don't have to be a Frankenstein's doctor to know that this is from PayPal. Okay, so the first human common sense will enlighten you, that will present you with, is that particular thing is PayPal. Right, so you're gonna think, oh yeah, that's from PayPal. Oh yeah, let's click on it and read it. No, slow down, okay? Because when you rush things, you will mess it up. So this is the subject line, this is the email, this is the attachment, meaning it contains either photo, video, or a file. Now I'm going to tell you why. This is the most dangerous thing, especially, well, not especially, rather in email for definite, okay? So service basically represents a customer service, at is email, INTO means international, okay? And then paypal.com, obviously from PayPal. So this is the subject to attract you. Oh, we want to inform you that we updated you, we've restricted your account, bullshit, blah blah blah, to entice you to click on it, basically. Okay, you won't click on it unless there is a reason for you to do so. This is what they need to ensure. Now on a mobile phone, this works a little bit different. Okay, the layout I'm talking about. This is the particular thing I want to tell you. When you make an email account, especially on Hotmail, I don't know about Gmail or Yahoo, they will work the same based on my experience and knowledge in computers. So now you need to listen to this very carefully. This is quite important. In email, when you register an email account, you have two particular things. You have name or a full name, like Mr. I don't know, whatever name basically. Okay, so full name, John Doe. Okay, so you have the full name and then you have an email address. So two particular things: full name, email address. This is the role play that's happening here right now. Okay, so you can see that that's an email because he's put at in there. Oh, hang on a second, what's that? Yes, it's got at in there, so you don't have to read the whole friggin' train of line. You can just ignore that in your brain. Just scan with your eyes and look for a particular thing. What's that? At. So what does that belong to? Email. So why do we have two at on one line? There is a clear break. Okay, .com, and then that breaks. So why do we have that? This is the neat trick scammers use to fool you people. So this is what I'm gonna crack and expose and show it to you guys. This is name. This is not an email. It looks like an email, but it's not an email. It's actually a name. This is the real email over here. How do I know this? Now check this out. So ignore all of the rest. I'm going to speak about that afterwards. Okay. So this is name basically. Now, why would they want to put this as a name? So S is basically the automatic system in email takes the first letter as alphabetic order and just presents it. Sort of like a Windows layout basically. So that's the short. But anyway, why do they want to use this as a name? What's the purpose? It's a big purpose. See, when you check your email, when you log in your email, before you open the mail, what do you see? What do you look for? You don't just look at subject, do you? You want to see where it's come from. This has come from Read. It's a job posting website. Okay, this is from eBay, Western Union, blah 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 blah. Okay, that's actually a legit person, and so on. Get the idea? So, oh, okay, this is from PayPal because I can see the email PayPal. This is the trick. They want you to think that this is from PayPal. Okay, this is why HSBC banks and so on, people get fraud easily, especially on emails and online because of this. They don't pay attention. They hasten, meaning they speed up, they rush, they hurry to do the things. Okay, so this is actually a name. The real email in this play is this. Now, why would they want to use that? Why can't they just use PayPal to scam you? This is the information you are lacking. This is how they point the gun against you while you are holding the gun yourself, thinking that it's not a gun. Basically, in a formal analogy speaking, they can't use PayPal to scam you because PayPal belongs to PayPal company. So why can't they create another PayPal? You can't create same website of the same name. So they can't make paypal.com as another website of them. They will have to put johnpaypal.com or even a single letter in there. Like, for example, I'll go to paypal.com. Okay, actually ignore the caps. I accidentally typed that. Okay, so as you can see, this is paypal.com. If I press enter, obviously it'll take me to it. Now this is a legit company website, as we all know. If I put even another, just one word, only one word, say another L. As you can see, it's got two double L, but that can be easily mistaken as single L, and you can just click on it. Okay, that will be a fake website I've made, presenting PayPal to, especially to those people who don't pay attention, who are too busy with the noise in their mind, or they are not clearly focusing with their eyes. Okay, and that's it. And then I can make a website similar to PayPal to scam people using this website domain for short. Okay, so other things is basically that was the most accurate way I can tell you that people can use to scam you by presenting themselves to be posing as a legit company. Now this is fake, so forget all of this. Before at, that's custom name that you can make yourself. Okay, so you know when you put like johnmckenzie@hotmail.com, for example. Before at, it's your choice of whatever email you want to put. After at, it's set. You can't change that. So let's focus on after at. So you can make your own email websites, email servers. It's not hard. You just have to study it, and you can make your own email server at gaminghuluhulu.com, for example. Yeah. So in this case, we have this email. So there is a email server in the world somewhere that's running this email. So SCRTINFO update.com. Okay. So this is trying to present as securityinfoupdate.com to make you believe that, oh, it's a security information update. The faithful team members have sent me that. So it's a load of bullshit basically. They're selling you, and you will only buy it if you are stupid enough not to focus. So you have to focus in these things. Okay, so now you understand how email work, how name works. Okay, on a mobile phone it's a little bit different. I can't actually show it to you because it's a laptop. But when you go onto the mobile phone, especially on Hotmail, if you first name, never follow the first name. Always click on somewhere. There will be an option or a name that you can click, and then it will expand. In this one, it's a name. If I click on S or the name on my mobile phone, it will expand it, and then the email will be presented. The reason they use this as the name, so people will fall for that. They don't need to bother hunting for the email afterwards, because they are satisfied by falling for the name as a deception. Okay, whereas this is the email. So IT people or sufficiently computer literate people, they will know straight away that, you know, this is like a dodgy website. Okay, and then obviously the subject can be anything they can write, whatever, to entice you. Now this particular aspect is clear to you guys now. The second thing I want to speak to you about is this. Oh dear, look, now pay attention to this. Everything is talking to you in the world. Should you choose to listen or not to listen, that's up to you. Seriously. If you will only understand the meaning of it if you pay attention deeply into that, what I've said. So now, moving on. So dear, normally when you write a letter, when you learn in school, what do you learn? Dear, it has to have a name afterwards or something, right? On formal cases. So there is no name. That person doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know my name. Look, he only knows me as Intelli. He doesn't actually know my name. Okay? So never use your real name even as email. That's the most stupid thing people do to expose themselves. You're handing your information to people globally in the world. Okay, what's going to happen? I've got nothing to lose. This is where you're wrong. Okay, so he doesn't know my name, so he just puts dear space semicolon. It could either be generated automatically through a computer, the way they've programmed it, or they've typed it themselves. God knows. Anyway, and then we sent you an attachment, blah 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 blah, bullshit basically. Sincerely, PayPal. Obviously, I'm only gonna fall for that if I'm not very computer literate. Okay, so I know I'm quite emphasizing on things, guys, but the reason I'm doing that and maximizing the lecture as information, it's for you guys to know. Perhaps you can save yourself or somebody in the future from being scammed. And trust me, it's a super horrible feeling. You will rather sit there and educate yourself in this than being the victim of the scam system. All right, so anyway, moving on. So this is what you call an attachment. So we can send pictures, videos, music, files, aka let's call all of them files, documents, picture, music, videos, and so on. So you can send a data file, it could be anything, across an email. Okay, now this is a PDF file. Why do they want to send us PDF? Why do they want to send us a file, whether it's PDF, image? Why? What's the purpose? The most dangerous thing in the whole email. Okay, you thought these things are dangerous. These are nothing. This hackers, bad eggs in the world, they have found out how to inject viruses, how to inject malware, and so on into data files. Okay, and then when that gets transmitted to you, when you open it, that virus or that particular bad thing that's sitting in the file will activate. Now, to you guys, you think that whatever comes alive in computers or activates or runs as a program or anything that the CPU handles and runs in the system, it will be visible on your screen. Nope, you are mistaken. All of this is happening in the memory. What's a memory? You can Google it if you really want to go into, you want to nosedive into a lot of information about memory, but it's a particular thing in the system that handles everything what you do. Interneting, researching, watching videos, email, playing games, recording sound, adjusting the volume on your computer, whatever. Thousands of stuff. All of that gets handled in the memory. Okay, this is why hackers particularly use memory to hack something or to exploit a file or to do something. That's how programming works anyway. It works within the memory. You know that when you do typing for the code, it actually works within the memory as when the compiler works and so on. So when you open this actually gets opened in your memory. Okay, and then when the CPU executes that, meaning it opens that file, that's what a CPU does. The virus will get initiated with that. Now the CPU isn't designed to find out if it's a virus or not. That's a different story basically. Anyway, different subject. So the whole point is never open files if you are not sure if it's a safe or if it's a safe email. I've already told you the few things you need to look for. Look for them. If you are still unsure, you've got to use your brain first, obviously. If you are unsure after that, then you can actually run it with me. I don't mind helping you guys and telling you. So in the end of the video, I'll leave you some of my contact details where you can reach me and ask me for my help, and I will reply when I am free. So please guys, remember that particularly, okay? I don't mind helping a whole nationwide with any of this, but you will have to bear with me, and I'll reply to you when I get time, because I do tend to get busy. Okay, so as soon as I open this, the file might not even open, or you will be blank pages, or you will have something that I need, for example. Then nevertheless, the conclusion comes down to the same. It will have a virus in them. Okay, and after that, so what if the virus comes in your system? Oh, that's it, I'm gonna wipe my computer. I've got a Windows disk, I can do this, I can do that, I haven't got photos on there, I haven't got anything to lose. This is thumb rule of stupidity from people who say things like that. Seriously, I used to think like that, don't get me wrong. Seriously, I was one of them. And then when I was educated in this, when I self-learned all this, then I realized a virus isn't just made to do one thing to your system, like delete programs and so on. Now we live in a digital age where a lot of bad things can happen just with the speck of a virus. Okay, it's basically bad information. So a virus will do according to what it's designed to do. It can either delete your stuff. Oh, so okay, it's alright, I don't care. It can transmit data to the receiver, to the sender, i.e. hacker, bad person on the other side end of the line that you don't know, but they know you through your email and stuff. So they can send your data across to that. More to be continued later about this point too. Number 3, they can infect your system. Number 4, they can go into your network. You work for a company as a project manager. You're a software engineer. You have blah 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 position. Okay, you take your laptop or a system or a mobile phone to a company to use that as for your work relation. That virus will sit on your device as a piggyback. As soon as you connect to your network, it will jump across to the network, and that's how problems occur and so on. Okay, that's one of the reasons, and there are more than hundreds of options. I could sit here and tell you all day what viruses can do and so on. Okay, so viruses are designed to do different things. The creation of a virus actually concludes to what it's going to do, made by the creator of the virus, i.e. programmer, coders, blah 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 blah, security experts, bad security expert, like evil version of security experts and so on. Okay, so so yeah, that's one of the reasons. Now I said about point number 2, I actually forgot what was I gonna say. Oh yes, sending the data to the receiver, to the sender. So why does that relate to you? How does that affect you? What data is sent across, even if you don't need it? This is where you are particularly need to be aware of. In your computer, there's cache system, there's temporary system, a temporary file system, and various other things like page files for operating system and so on. Especially for the browser, when you do research, when you do your internet stuff, even if you log on to your email, there is a cache system for this. So without you understanding or speaking alien language like I do, observe. I've opened my computer. Okay, I'm a computer expert, so I repair computers and stuff, and I've deeply learnt all this crazy stuff. There's what you call an app data. There are folders in your system, they are hidden and you don't know them. Okay, so you can see these folders are visible. This is where you're wrong. There are folders and files that are hidden that some or most people do actually do not know. And check this out. See the faint marking? These are what you call hidden folders, my friend. Usually because these are core system files that you don't want to delete, modify, alter, or mess with, because that will unstabilize your operating routine or your operating system's operation. Okay, program data and so on. Now you understand, right? But in relation to what we are talking about, we're going to go there. So I'm going to go there. These are my stuff, as you can see. Look, app data. Check this out. I discovered that myself completely. In there, the programs you install, the programs you run, some of the programs you run, it depends actually on the application. So anyway, the programs you install, the programs you run, browser is the program basically. It's a browser obviously, so it's a program and so on. It gets run and some of the files actually sit in there. Temp file. What's temp short for? Temporary, but it's not temporary, it still sits there. Now in there, whenever you get viruses, usually they come here most of the time based on my experience. Okay, so you can see I've ran my Magic ISO and various other things. Just don't look at my porn collection, I'm just joking guys. Alright, so Java deploy reg, that's something to do with Java. I ran either through browser, that's just shed. So that's Java update that ran automatically, but it left like a log in the temporary system. Okay, so in there, your personal data stored in there. So why am I telling you all this? This is why. I just use this computer to log into my emails. I don't do internet banking. I don't do other things. That's what you will think. Okay, this is where you're wrong. Because even if you log in just only in your email system on the computer, you can get hacked. Your emails can be read, they can be transmitted over. If your emails contain bank information that you're thinking, oh okay, my email is safe because it's username and password, oh yeah, I'm like untouchable basically, nobody can hack me because that email only belongs to me, I know the login details, and only I use email only on this computer, so yeah, I'm okay. See, these things are total stupid. They leave security holes in your lifeline. So that's how you get hacked. So the information that when you log into your email, that gets temporarily stored into temp file. Okay, so I haven't really checked beyond that because that comes under security or analyst aspect. So I'm not in that kind of a role or position. But I do know that it gets stored in there, and then they can exploit that information and extract your password or your email, even if it's encrypted. So it totally depends on what knowledge and technologies they have to encounter that. Okay, so the whole moral concept is that never trust any devices. Okay, and especially if you don't know much about protection like antivirus, ad blockers, and so on. then your system will be pretty exposed, because you don't know what you're dealing with, or what you have yourself. It's like a key you're carrying, but you don't know which lock it fits, and you're in a dungeon, for example. It's basically that. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so never open a file from an anonymous email, even if it looks trustworthy or if it's from your favorite porn website. I'm just joking, guys, but you get the idea, right? Okay, then, so I will now conclude from this lengthy, informational and useful video. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope that I have filled some of you, or if not then all of you, with information that is useful to you. And please, I'm not looking for subscribers or fame or gratitude or status or anything like that. I'm just doing this to help other people with nothing in return. I don't need anything from anyone. So your duty is only just one thing: share this video along to other people, especially my first video. I'll drop the link of that in my description, so read the description below for the link to my first video and my contacts on how to get in touch with me. If you guys ever have any questions about computers, I'm an expert in computers. I do a lot of crazy stuff, not just consoles. If you guys have questions in regards to whether you are unsure this email is bad or good, or if there is a person you're dealing with and it could be a scammer or not, but I'm not a genie in identifying who's straight, who's angelic, and who's satanic. Get the idea? So I don't really know that, but you're welcome to ask me anyway, and I'll try to help you as much as I can in my human capacity. Okay, so guys, thank you so much, and please leave the comments below. The comments are quite important because I need to know what you guys think. In relation to that, I will make more videos if this is useful to you. So you guys have got to speak up whatever you want to say to me, so that way I understand what goes through people's minds in terms of my stuff. Okay, and then according to that, I will provide more knowledge and useful information to you guys. So this is the first video that I will copy and paste the link in my description below. Okay guys, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.